You are listening to emails.com.
أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون صدق الله العظيم. Imam Jalaluddin Rumi rahmatullah alayh, one of the great mashayikh, one of the greatest wali of Allah that the world of Islam has produced. He has a book he compiled where he got anecdotes. Anecdotes are stories from which we derive moral lessons. He has given an ajib kahani whereby there was a man. He had a parrot. As you know, parrots are such birds that can speak, just like us, imitating us. So he has been training this parrot day in, day out to read kalima la ilaha illallah. In the morning and at night, zikr, zikr, zikr. He has been training this parrot to read kalima. It so happened that one day a cat came and pounced over this parrot. And the parrot started screaming and screaming, and finally the parrot died. It was attacked by the cat. Seeing this scene, the owner felt unconscious. He fainted. People asked him, "Why you fainted? Why don't buy another parrot and train the parrot?" He said, "This is not my concern. The concern I've got is I have trained this parrot day in, day out to read kalima. By the time of death, the kalima didn't come." This is a moral that Imam Rumi rahmallah is telling us. One is a lip service of Sharia, and one is what is in the heart. At the time of death is a real test. Our salah we're reading, our roza we're keeping, our hajj we're going, our sadaqah we're doing. Is it for the pleasure of Allah, or is it showing off? Is it according to the sunnah of Rasulullah, or do we want to do our own deen and do our own bid'ah and become our own mujtahid? This test of the iman is very difficult. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, "Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu," O you believers, "Hal adullukum tijaratin tunjikum min adabin alim." Should I not show you a business? Allah wants to do a business with us. Tijara means business. That will save you from a dardanak azab. Such a punishment that you will not be able to pay. Shadeed. Tu'minuna billah. What is this dealing? For saved, to be saved in akhirah, is to bring iman on Allah. Allahu Akbar. And what is the meaning of iman on Allah? Brothers who have gone in Tabligh Jamaat will tell us they haven't understood it yet. Iman is such a deep thing. Iman is such a deep thing. Day in, day out, we talk about it. Muzakara of Iman. Hazrat Ji say, talk about Iman, talk about Iman, talk about Iman. Because that is our heart. This is why in Surah Al-Hujurat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explain about the Bedouin who say we practice Islam. Allah said, you're practicing Islam, but Iman is not there. Allah is drawing our attention in the Quran, in Surah Al-Hujurat, the last ruku. There's a difference between the Islam we practice and the Iman that Allah wants from us. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu aminu billahi wa rasuli. O you who believers, Allah has emphasized on you. Bring Iman. Allah is addressing us. We got Iman, but not the Iman Allah is wanting from us. So coming back to this ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if you want to be saved from Jahannam, bring Iman Allah. آمنوا بالله ورسوله وتجاهدوا في سبيل الله بأموالكم وأنفسكم. And you fight in the path of Allah with your nafs, with your mal and your nafs. The question is, what is jihad? Does it mean jihad, take your sword and go and fight? If this was the maqsad, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would have not told the Sahaba Kiram, which all of you know, when they were coming in the Battle of Badr. You came from a small jihad now. The big jihad is your nafs. The big jihad is your nafs. And one of the jihad of nafs that you have to fight in today's time, if you read this week's newspaper, is family jihad. Family jihad. If you look what is happening in UK, this today itself, for example, if you look at the statistics about home buying, because me and Maulana Sahab, we say we didn't talk family in UK with Islamic finance. I'm going to come to Islamic finance, and I know there will be a lot of questions, inshallah. People buying home has dropped by 33% compared to last year. The market is shrinking. Today, the metro. 2 days ago, there was another article. In 144 years, UK has registered the least number of marriages here. Those who read newspaper will know what I'm talking. Last year, 27,000 homes were repossessed by the banks. We're asking ourselves, why? I've quoted you housing, I'm quoting you family. The average people getting married in UK is 30. Why? Why? That's the question we are trying to ask now. I'm putting the figures in front of us to see where are we going. To make jihad in our family, have we understood the concept of family to make jihad for this family? Family and finance plays a very important role. The purpose of a family in the light of hadith is to stabilize a person. The purpose of family is to stabilize a person. But we see the contrary is happening. People don't want to get married because they feel that when they got married, they will not be stable. Hence, they have developed a new concept, the concept of cohabitation. You go to New Zealand, there's acts of parliament on that. Holland, Germany, even in UK, which is the complete opposite of the institution of marriage in general. And this is of concern, not only for Muslims, even for new Muslims. Last year, Cameron, of the Conservative Party, there was an article on that, where he said, he raised his concern about it, the single parents, and what the cost on the state. Who is going to support that? The institution of marriage is dropping and dropping and dropping. Last year when I visited, there was an article in the newspaper, the demise of the institution of marriage in UK. People don't want to get married anymore. Then we ask people why. The reason is, they say the financial implication is too much. So I prefer staying with a woman, have children with her, the state looks after the woman. I got no problem. This is what is happening in our community, isn't it? Look at what's happening around us. I do not have responsibility to look after the children. I don't have to provide maintenance. If she wants to, she must sue me. This is the type of society we are developing. The mindset we are developing. Whereas the Shari perspective, and I can bring hadith to this effect, when a person gets married, there is barakah in that. There was a Sahabi, very, very poor, told Rasulullah, what I must do? I'm told him to get married. Yeah, I got no money, get married. Poverty. Second time he came to Islam, I'm in trouble, get married again. More deeper. The third one, get married. The fourth one, Rasulullah one day look at him, he was in a hurry to go home. Rasulullah told him, and he was like having a camel and all those things. So I was like, going home. The barakah was with the fourth wife. In the same way you find in Hadith Sharif, that a person is rich, He's looking after his brother. And because of this brother, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving the rich brother. There is barakah in the family. There is a lot of barakah. I was in South Africa. I was making a bayan. So I told the people when they get married, there's a lot of people there, especially, alhamdulillah, elderly people. What niyat did you make when you got married? Everybody was looking at them. We got to make niyat when we get married, or we got to going honeymoon. What niyat are we going to make? We don't even know what niyat we're supposed to make when we get married. What is the purpose of nikah? We don't know. So the elderly people called me after the nikah. There was like 18, all the people about 70 years old surrounding me. Maulana, tell me about this niyat. Can I make it now or this niyat? Can I take number 2? Make the niyat now. We don't know what niyat to make when we get married. Such a great ibadat of all the anbiya, we don't know what niyat to make. The very first niyat to make in of marriage is the sunnah of all the anbiya. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had 7 wives. And yet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, if you want, I give you the choice of Uhud in the mountain gold, or you want to be an abd, to be a slave. You say, Ya Allah, make me a slave, so that for one meal I can train from you, and the other meal I can make shukr for what you give me. And Rasulullah, when he eats, that is one of the sunnah of Islam, is he used to eat on the floor and sit as a slave to make qadar of this food. So to have a family, brothers, we got to understand this barakah. In Hadith Sharif also it comes, Mufti Shafiqah mentioned that in Ma'arif al-Quran, that blessed is that womb that gave birth to a baby girl first. And ulama explain, when you get baby girl first, it brings a lot of barakah in the house. Today we want to make birth control. I don't know what birth control we're making. We're having an aging population in this country, we're making birth control. Rare, maqul, completely opposite, everything is upside down. We're making birth control when we're having an aging population. Who will sustain this next population in 20, 30 years' time? Everything is upside down. It goes down between family and finance. Family and finance. So you'll find that the barakah in the family, the nizam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is وَعَلَى الْمَوْلُودِ لَهُ رِزْقُهُنَّ وَكِسْوَتُهُنَّ. For whom the child has been begotten, that is the husband, is the responsibility of feeding the wife and dressing them. And the word ala comes for responsibility. We say no. Our wives must go and work and look after us. We have changed everything upside down, brother. Everything is upside down. And we want to be happy. We want to have barakah. Where is it that your wife must work and look after you? Where? Bilkul ghair maqul. Doesn't make sense that our woman must go and work to look after us. Where this problem comes is to understand the financial demand of Sharia. How should we spend our money? Very simple. Ad-deenu yusrun. Deen is easy. Rasulullah said. Deen is really easy. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created mankind. The universal economic demand is 3. Everybody got 3 economic demands. Food, clothing, shelter. In today's time, we put education. This is a big budget in the house. 4 things only we have to spend. But how do we spend? And who has the responsibility to spend? Sharia has explained it. The husband must take this responsibility. But how he must spend? First we spend, the first level of spending, what we call in Sharia, al-iqtisad. It comes in Hadith, al-iqtisadu fi nafaqati nisful ma'isha. It's moderation in spending is half of your livelihood. You have win half of your battle if you know how to balance our spending. This is where the word economics, where it comes from. Everybody talk about economics. It comes from a Greek word, economikos, which means the household of management, the management of households. When the Greek philosophers, in the time of the Greek, was the cradle of the Western civilization, They were making economy, where to spend and not where to spend. They were balancing their budget. This is where the word economics comes from, the Greek word. So the first way to spend, Rasulullah has said, is al-iqtisad. We must not be stingy. The hadith of Rasulullah is clear. A person spends in sadaqah or in the path of Allah on his family. In jihad, the one he spends on his family is more rewarding in the sight of Allah. We must spend on our family, but with moderation. The second one is, the parents, we want to spoil our wife or we want to spoil our children, we make israf. Israf means we spend a bit more than what we need. Example, the first one is Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu. Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala, everybody knows about it, and Imam Sa'd is running beautiful seerah here also. When he passed away, what happened? When Umar radiallahu ta'ala told him, you must not go and work when he became Khalifa, and he said, you take from the Baytul Mal. What he was doing? One day he wanted to eat some special thing, and the wife slowly put aside and said, today I'm going to give this to you. What Abu Bakr Siddiq said? This is not iqtisad. This is israf. He said, give this back. So he cut his money from Baytul Mal. That's the level of iqtisad. Israf means we need something, we spend more than what is needed. Kulu washrabu wa la tusrifu, the Quran says. Eat and drink, but don't spend more than what is required. You need one mobile, brothers, buy one mobile. We understand our time. But now you cannot move with one mobile here because O2 is giving us a special deal, another mobile here because Orange is giving us another deal, and another mobile here, what, I don't know all those names. What are we doing? Do you know there are caseloads, people have been suing those companies because it can affect your brain, tumor, with those mobiles. The whole day we talk on mobile. First of all, we are not supposed to talk so much. Now we're talking with the 3 mobiles. Brothers in Islam, this is Islam. One is enough. Why do we have to walk with 3 mobiles? This is Islam. Like this we can make the list. I'm just giving an example. The third one that Islam teaches us that we must abstain from is bad. إِنَّ الْمُبَذِّرِينَ كَانُوا إِخْوَانَ الشَّيَاطِينَ. They spend riches of verily the brothers of shaitan. This is what Allah is calling us in the Quran. The brothers of shaitan. Instead of being the brothers of Anbiya, we are the brothers of shaitan. Why? We spend where there's no need to spend. Israf, you need it, but you spend a bit more. But you don't need it, but just you spend the money. Because everybody is buying it, we're buying it. There's a sale by Marks and Spencer or Primark, we give money to our brother. Right? Go and buy. How many clothes she's going to wear in a day? Why spending? We don't need it. Just because there is a sale, we spend the money for the fun of doing shopping. Rather doing shopping, those who study psychology, the doctors here will bear with me. It is a disease. To do shopping has become a mental disease in this country and many other places. I can prove it to you. There are research done by psychologists. We cannot do without shopping on Saturdays. If we do not take our wives to shopping on Saturdays, matam, it has become a disease. First of all, we are supposed to, in the hadith of Rasulullah, al-imratu awratun. Women are something to conceal, not to wear display. If there's a need, you go. I don't tell you to hold a woman in the house. At times you got to go out, get depressed or whatever. But not every Saturday now making shopping. What is now? There must be limits. There are other places to take our families where there is less people. I don't tell you to enclose your woman in the house. It comes in hadith. Rasulullah went for jogging, racing with Aisha Siddiqah radiallahu ta'ala. By all means, go and race with your wife. It's good for the heart. Go, no problem. But there are rules and regulations. We must observe. So this is the third one. Our disease. We are making shopping we cannot do without the shopping. And in the shopping, we start buying unnecessarily, and this is bad, and this is haram. Allah is saying in the Quran, not me. So when coming to our three things that I was saying, the four things that we have to spend, we got to balance ourselves. Now we're staying in a country whereby consumerism, those who study economics will know, we have reached a point of over-consumerism. They don't know what next theory to develop. In the past, one crisp was enough for your child to go to school. Now she wants one crisp for the break, one crisp before going to school, one when coming from the school, and one when watching the TV, and one when finished. Brothers in Islam, this is consumerism. In the past, one TV in the lounge was okay. Now we need one TV when the wife cooks, one TV in the kitchen. Then one in the lounge. Now the latest one, the plasma. Right? At times you feel the horse is coming on you, and you want it so big. The small lounge, the TV is bigger than the lounge nowadays. Right? Plasma TV. Do you need plasma TV? And now the latest one now, if you got your family is tighter inside, now we need one in the toilet now. Not to waste time in the toilet. So you can watch TV in the toilet. Do we need 5 TV in the house? Brothers, we're laughing. This is reality. This is reality. Some people buy magazine to read magazine when they sit on the toilet. We have seen it, we know about it, and we don't do anything. Islam and time and the family, what are we trading? This money we could have spent it on other necessities. So, the first thing is food. Economy says, the first thing is food. And one of the reasons we are seeing no barakah in our food is we have neglected the sunnah of Rasulullah. Simple example. The sunnah of Rasulullah is to drink water. Today our youth doesn't know what is water. If they drink water, it's like medicine for them. They need Coke. They need Pepsi. They need this one and that one. They don't know what is the taste of water nowadays. Right? Now this costs money. If every day you're going to give two kind of Coke or whatever it is, it costs money. How do you want barakah? And the sunnah of Rasulullah is to drink water. Or Nabi, at times was used to put some dates in it, the night before, and in the morning he wakes up and he drinks it. Very nice. Those who practice the sunnah will know what I'm talking here. The adab of eating is going. Today's time, son is eating one time, woman is coming late, is eating another time, the husband is coming, whereas if you look at eating, eating is an ibadah in Sharia. It's not an entertainment. As we go to KFC or McDonald's, we take one burger, hop, we watch it. This, number one, we're eating our McDonald's or whatever burger we're eating. Number two, we are infringing a sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The sunnah is not to bite with our teeth. The sunnah is to break with our hands. Second thing. Thirdly, the doctor sitting here will bear with me. The ingredients in there, many times are haram, we don't even know about it. Fourthly, the preservatives that are put in there, in all the food and sweet we give our children, lead to cancer. Britain is one of the countries where the rate of cancer is extremely high. Breast cancer, out of every 5 women have breast cancer. Those who got smear tests will tell you what is happening. This is another musibat in the community. It's smear test. Every woman doing smear test. What is the smear test now? To see whether you got cancer now. Every second Muslim woman is asking fatwa now. Should we go? Bhai, there is parda ka masla hai isme. I don't say it's not a problem, it is a problem. But what is causing cancer? One of the reasons is the food that we eat. Those aspartame and other type of things that are in the food, in the sweet, cause cancer. And now, where is our barakah gone? Wasting money, buying medicines. So food, if we spend it according to Sharia, the financial issue is sorted out. The second one is clothing. Today's time, if you do not buy Pierre Cardin or Lacoste, you are not a good father. We have been trained by our children to buy. We have been trained by our children, even when we go for Umrah. They know which shop we got Siakardin and all those big shops. Train and all the stories. They want to buy the brand. The Sunnah of Rasulullah, they don't even interested in that. The Sunnah of Rasulullah is a kurta cost of how much? 10 pounds, 15 pounds. No, they want big trade names. Now, we as father, we want to fulfill the desire of our children. We don't have money. We got to take a personal loan. And then, now suddenly we became Muslim. It's haram to take loan. We got to get a halal personal loan. Now the bank, the Muslim want halal personal loan, we're going to give them tawarruk. The latest product on the market now. Tawarruk. What is tawarruk? Tawarruk is, if you want money, in those days the fuqaha developed it in the school of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahimahullah, when the word put in Arabic means silver. That is, you make a deal where you get silver, you get cash in your hand. So, if I need cash, what they would see, there will be three parties. Party A, Party B, and Party C. Party C is the client, Party B is the bank, and Party A there is the one who will sell something to the bank. And the bank sells it to you on a credit sale. So you pay 10 years to pay it for 5 years. And you sell it back to him for cash at a discount. So he gives you money. Basically, it's a paper transaction. Nothing moves. This is what you call an arbitrage in finance. Professor Mahmoud Jamal has written a lot on that. You go on the internet, type Mahmoud Jamal from Egypt. He's a professor in Rice University. How there is an abuse on this price leverage in Islamic finance. Now, tawarruk has become the norm in our Muslims, and ulama have raised a lot of objections on that. And if Muslims are not be careful with this type of financing, if there's no need really, when the ulama developed in those days, people were not really hissed for money and make israf. There was a genuine need. Then the ulama took out a hila to come up to sort out this problem. Today this has been converted into producing a nation that will be indebted. UK is one of the most indebted nations on credit card, more than £3 billion. And this is what is going to happen to the Muslims. I don't say don't go and take tawarruk or go and take tawarruk. That's not my problem. My problem is if we do not know as father and the head of the family where to spend our money, we're going to be tapped into those products, and this is what's going to happen. The next stage now is our house. Everybody needs a house. If you look on the market, again the house, there are three products. The first one that you will get your house, if you want the halal means, Islamic finance, is what they call murabaha. Murabaha from the word ribhun in Arabic means profit, whereby your profit is known. So what happened? I want to buy this. It costs £10. I will tell the client, it costs £10, I'm going to make £2 profit on that. And you will take 1 year to pay me. £1 every month. So you call it murabaha. So you want a house, the bank buys it and sells it to you. But there was a big problem with murabaha. When you fix the price, you can't change it. There's no rollover. That's not in the favor of the bank. Because when the bank rate of interest goes up and down, it's a bit tricky for them. So they came with another one now, called ijara wal iqtina. That is leasing with option to purchase. So the bank buys it, and they will lease it to you. So in that leasing installment you pay, part of it will go in an account and part of it will pay towards the profit or interest, whatever name you want to call it. Remember, when you deal with the banks, they are not interested with the capital. Why? Because the capital is guaranteed. They already got a guarantee from you. They are interested to get the interest as far as possible from you. So when you pay bank, keep in mind, you don't pay for your capital. First they want the interest or profit, whatever name you want to call it. So now they say, okay, it's not loan for loan. There's a product involved there. Ijara wal iqtina. That is, you get an option to buy when you finish the old installment. So this was the second one they have put on the market, and the Muslims are involved in that. But there's a problem there for the bank. The leasing price, it keeps on changing, and you have problem with that. Every 3 months the rate of interest is going up and down, yo-yo. If America changed the rate of interest, you saw what happened here, it has its effect on the market here. So it's not safe. So they came with another one now called diminishing musharaka. This is a heavy one now. Diminishing musharaka means your partnership comes down. In other words, you got to put a sum of money, and the bank will put the difference, and you will own it together. But when I read the contract, I don't see you becoming the owner. You get a beneficial interest. So now, this I think went in the pipeline, so they have changed the idea. They put a trust and they put it in the trust to protect you and the bank, so-called. Alhamdulillah. So what happened with this one now? First year, say for example the house is 100,000, payable over 5 years. So first year you pay your 20,000. But then, 20,000 is 1/5 of 100,000. So 4/5 is for who? For the bank. The bank doesn't love you like that. You got to pay rental for what he owns. The following year you buy another 20,000 or whatever. So now the bank owns 3/5 and you own 2/5. So the rental decreased, but the price of property is going up or down. So they got it on the market price. This is a jhanjat of buying house. A house is a necessity. And now, for 20 years you're going to have matumare, getting headache. This is why the price of Panadol also is going up now. Too many people are having Panadol. So the point I'm driving home here is, we are the head of the family. On the one hand we want to be Muslim, on the other hand we are caught in a catch-22 position. What is the solution to all this? This is a question that many people ask me. People need food. People need clothing. People need shelter. And you're telling them, don't go the haram way, go the halal way. And now the halal way, Maulana, you're making a lot of noise also. What is good for you? Why are you criticizing? I'm not criticizing, I'm analyzing. Just like when your wife makes noise by you, say, don't nag. You say, I'm not nagging, I'm sharing a concern with you. So, I'm not criticizing, I'm analyzing. You got to understand, Muslim in this country started coming in the 1960s. Banking as we know it, the modern sophisticated banking is about 500 years. So we are very, very in an infancy stage. But that doesn't mean, and this is my concern, that now because of necessity, we start compromising our Sharia. Yes, we understand at the beginning of it, but we as a community, we have to do something, and the law allows it. The law allows you to do that. For example, Al-Ansar in Manchester, they have put up a fund together, the community, very well managed. And for homes, say for example, they have raised £1 million, for example, you can give 5 people more than do that. There are so many techniques of raising funds. One example I'll give you is what you call venture capital, where people can put money together. You look for somebody who is good in buying and selling homes, but he hasn't got money. You monitor him and make profit out of it, and that profit can be flushed back for the community. We can have so many ways. Okay, housing are very expensive, but there are so many things that Muslim needs money. A new boy qualified from university. He's a dentist. He wants his machineries, his apparatus and all the stories cost £100,000. Where do you expect a young boy whose father has been working so hard in the factory or in the shop to get £100,000? Go to the bank. But we as a community, we can't raise £100,000 and tell the man, look, we mean business here. Let's do venture capital. The community can do it. In South Africa, they have launched a fund, Al-Nakhil. Slowly it's coming up. Very slowly, because people have to have confidence in the system. So this is where we must put our expertise. And I would go to one extent also, have it regulated by the FSA, Financial Services Authority. If not, as you know, the crooks will come in. In 1970, South Africa had one called Al-Jami. It collapsed. 1999, there was another one, Islamic Bank, collapsed. So this is not the right way to do things. on trust and trust. If trusting was enough, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would have not said in Surah Baqarah, "Oh, you believers, when you take a loan, it's delayed to be paid, have it written down and have two witnesses." Quran says, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us. He knows our crookedness enough. When money comes, we forget we are Muslim also. So we must try to balance all it. So family is very important. We must give certain comfort to our children. There was a great Sahabi, Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas radiallahu anhu. He was on his deathbed. Rasulullah paid a visit to him. He was ready to die. So he asked him, "I got only one daughter. I want to give everything I have got fi sabilillah." Rasulullah said, "No." He said, "What about 2/3?" Rasulullah said, "No." "Half?" Rasulullah said, "No." 1/3? I said, "As-sulus kaseer." 1/3 is okay, but this 1/3 also is a bit too much. Then Rasulullah told him to leave your children affluent, in a good position, where they know how to go and beg people, is better than to leave them as destitute. We as parents, we got to plan something for our children. But the hope of dunya must not be in the heart. That's the difference between us who want to practice Islam and those who don't want to practice Islam. That we're going to live in this dunya, but the dunya must not be in our heart. And this is where I quoted from the beginning of what I said, "Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu," oh you believers, "Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullah," fear Allah, وَتَنْظُرْ نَفْسُ مَا قَدَّمَتْ لِغَدٍ, and every soul must see what we're sending for the future. Your bank account, the transfer that we're making in our bank account in the akhirah, what are we sending there? وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهِ, Allah did it again, fear Allah. إِنَّ اللَّهَ خَبِيرٌ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ, verily Allah knows what you're doing. Then Allah continues the Quran, Surah Al-Hashr, that وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ نَسُوا اللَّهِ, don't become like those who forget Allah. فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسَهُمْ, Allah will make them forget their own personality. Is this what we want? We wear topi, a kurta, we keep a beard, but we don't even know what we are, who we are, what is our ta'alluq with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is why Imam Rumi rahmatullah alayh started with Imam Rumi rahmatullah alayh about the parrot. The lip service is one thing, but if we bring the iman in our heart, we put effort in our heart, then Islamic finance is not a problem. We will know when we must take it and when we must not take it. When we must economize and not when we must economize. When we're going to make a provision for our children and when we are not supposed to make provision for our children. This is small nasiha which I'm sharing with you. I learned from Asatiza. I'm going to stop here. I know you're tired. It's already 9:30. Usually my adat is, if you got any question, if I know, I will answer. If I don't know, I will tell you I don't know. So for 5 minutes, if anybody got any question, I will entertain some questions. Yes. No question? Yes. A bit louder, please. A bit louder, please. A person buying, so that's his business, and borrowing money from the bank with interest. Depending who are them. I know Allah says no. So that's what I know. وَحَلَّ اللَّهُ الْبَيْعَ وَحَرَّمَ الرِّبَا. That I know. But who is saying yes and no, I don't know. But it's haram as far as I'm concerned. There's no reason for that. There's no need for that. The Quran makes it clear. It's haram. Depending the contract. If you look at the contract, some ulama, out of necessity, some ulama, I just need to make you understand that one Hazrat Bilal radiallahu ta'ala came with good quality of dates. So the Prophet told him, "Ya Bilal, where is this good, beautiful dates?" So yes, when I had, say for example, 2 kilos, I'm just contextualizing for our time, of not good quality dates, I've exchanged it for 1 kilo of this good quality. Rasulullah said, "Hey Bilal, you should have sold it With the money you get, you buy this good one. Because to exchange the 6 things mentioned in hadith, when you exchange it, it got to be exactly the same amount and it must be on spot. If not, it's going to be riba. This is another type of riba called riba al-fadl. There are 2 types of riba. One is in transaction and one in commodities itself. So Rasulullah told him you should have a risk to avoid the riba. So from there, you got a concept called khiyal, legal fiction. Does it mean now you start making legal fiction and looking for loopholes in Sharia? Ibn Qayyim Jawzi rahmatullah alayhi has written a book on that, Kitab al-Khiyal. Even Imam Bukhari rahmatullah alayhi has attacked the Ahdaf 22 times in Sahih al-Bukhari on that. Of course there are rebuttal and so on, because you can't play with Sharia. But if the need arises, and if there is, I want the word loopholes is a very bad word to use. I'm not using the word loopholes. But if there is certain gunjaish in Sharia, then ulama allows it. Those ulama who have allowed it is because the situation prevailing in the country, you cannot uproot your 500 years of history. You're coming up now. Remember, I haven't got time to go into history, what transpired with the Muslim, in the Muslim world with colonization and so on. Technically, there's only 2 ways of financing. One is, I become a partner with you, and we do the business together. I take risk, you take risk. Fair. If we make profit, we share it. We make a loss, we share the loss. The second one is, I give the money, you give your expertise. If we make profit, we share the profit. If there's a loss, I, as the entrepreneur, the one who gives the money, I bear the loss. Because it's mudaraba. So what they have done is, they have adopted the second one, what you call the musharaka, whereby somebody gives money, you put a sum of money, and you buy the house, and they're like a buying and selling. So what happens, the moment you put an asset in between, there is a risk you have taken. Now the bank takes the risk or not, that's another story now. I got to check the contract, because recently I was in South Africa. There was a case against one bank who used the same technique. But in the contract they say that, funny condition, that you must take an insurance policy on the house and we are going to be the beneficiary. I say, what is this nonsense now? Then they say that if there's something happened to the house, we are not responsible of it. You must bear all the risk. This is completely un-Islamic, as far as I'm concerned. Right. So the contract, you got to look at the contract. And this is where we have to produce. I was talking to Maulana Saab the other day. We have to produce, and one of our shortcomings is we don't want to invest on human resources. If we produce our ulama, get a good alim, send him, make him become the best chartered accountant, make him become the best economist, make him become the best financial advisor, then only we're in a position to know the law, to know the financial techniques, the Sharia point of view and the secular point of view, and we come with solutions. At this moment in time, we don't have it. There have been no planning for it. Since 1980, Islamic finance is in this country. We haven't produced hardly anybody. We have 1.8 million Muslims in this country. Name me one alim who you know is an expert in finance. You don't blame the ulama for that. Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayh, in his book Letter to a Disciple, he says that you produce the type of alim you want. What he wants to say by that? If you contact yourself with your namaz, roza, zakat, the Maulana will make his mutala on that, because there's only 24 hours in a day. So now if we come with difficult masla masail, modern masla masail, we'll make his research. Because ulama warasatul anbiya. But if we contact ourselves, okay, we separated, we have become like Christian, we make ibadat one thing, and then commercial dealings, that got nothing to do with Sharia. We are failing. So we must learn to invest in human resources. We have to learn to invest in human resources. So coming back to your question, it depends, the hiyal they made for temporarily to accommodate that. I'll give you one example. The Dubai Islamic Bank. In the beginning, what was happening, you got the Sharia scholars approve a product. The bank says this product, we got to change the contract like this. The Sharia scholar doesn't know. They are so busy, they got to make mutala of kitab, they're teaching in Darul, whatever. Where they got time to change the bank every contract? Now, ulama discover they are playing with those contracts. There's a new discipline coming up, what's called Sharia audit. Every transaction got to be audited by in-house alim, Now, what is happening now? They don't feel at ease. Every contract is vetted by an alim. They don't feel at ease with that. I have seen contracts from banks, brothers. They have, ulama have approved of it, and I check it, very good, mashallah. But then, for whatever reason, they start playing with the contract. They got the certificate from the ulama. This alim is approving, this alim is approving of it. And they make big marketing on the name of this ulama. And then they start playing with that. So this is why now the new discipline developing now is what's called Sharia audit. And you will find that in Malaysia, most probably the first country to come with this law. This is why in Malaysia, if you are sitting on one Sharia board of a company, you are not allowed to sit on another company. They don't allow you by law. You can't do that. And the government themselves have their own Sharia board in Bank Negara to supervise any other product coming. It's a very good system they have. What will happen in UK, according to what I gathered, is the FFA, because now the government is changing the law for Islamic bonds and so on, they will allow you to have, they will create a own independent Sharia board which got nothing to do with the banks or whatever. If you have any problem, you can go for arbitration. Subhanallah. Arbitration is just like a court, but there are few differences between arbitration and litigation or adjudication. You can choose your own judge. You can choose your own legal system you want. You can give parameters to that. That's called a term of reference. And once they give an award, it's binding on you. But if you are not happy with that, what I gathered is maybe the law will be, you can still go to the High Court, but there the British law will apply. Because the court is not interested in your Muslim side. This is why the famous case in the Beximco case, Beximco Pharmaceutical versus Shamil Bank of Bahrain in 2004, the appellate division in UK, where a Sri Lankan company or Bangladeshi company in pharmaceutical company, they took some loan on Murabaha, what I was telling you earlier. That is, they buy and they sell it to the company. Then he could not pay, they raised objections to that. No, this is interest, this is trade financing. So the matter went to the court here. There was a clause there that this contract would be according to the glorious Sharia and as interpreted by the British law. Achieve a deep contract you get in the world, right? So the court make it clear, and it's a very good judgment. He said, look, we cannot go and interpret your Sharia. And the regulator is not interested to involve it. The regulator is interested to make sure that there is confidence on the market, that everything goes on well. There is no panic on the market. It's not the whole economy will go. So they are not interested in your Sharia. So the court said, if you want Sharia, spell your Sharia. Don't mention the word Sharia. What does it mean? What's the meaning of Sharia? Go ask 20 people, they give you 20 definition of Sharia. Right? So the court says, we can entertain you. But write all the conditions properly. And then we'll apply our common law there if there's a problem. Which makes sense. So this is an example I'm giving you what is happening in the UK. Right? So we're getting an opportunity to contribute. But we are not contributing, and this is what I'm saying. We are supposed to invest in our human resource. We are not investing. How many people have we trained to be in a position to discuss on that level with the Financial Services Authority? Ask ourselves this question. And the best person to do justice to that is to invest in your ulama. Because they got a background, especially those who did iftar, that is become mufti. And they will be in a position, after they are a chartered accountant or financial advisor or get a degree in banking, they will understand the system, the pros and cons of it or whatever. They will be the people who will be able to bring the changes. Not people like me. You got to invest on the muftis, make them become great scholars. You understand what I'm saying? And then we can all those worry that you have, is it Islamic or not Islamic, some skepticism about it. And I know it is a burning issue. I gave a lecture on Peterborough on Saturday, on Sunday. My topic was on family. At the end, usually I give people a chance to ask questions, and if I know answer, if I don't know, I don't know. One brother insisted that I must answer question on mortgages. I said, Bhai, but this is not my topic today. Why do you want me? He said, no, you got to answer my question. Because people don't know what to do. They are confused outside. How to remove this confusion? If there is light, darkness disappears automatically. If there is knowledge, ignorance is removed. Jahalat is removed. So we got to produce people who got knowledge to sort out our problems. So this issue that you're raising, it's there. I know about it. Many people told me about it. It's a contractual issue, a contractual engineering that has been done to accommodate those issues temporarily. But if we don't, my personal opinion, if we do not take the steps to produce our ulama, who will be professional? And there are so many, alhamdulillah, there's so many Hafiz al-Quran. You test their memory, what photographic memory Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed them with. If we learn to bless and we work and produce those ulama, it's for our own good. Even if we die, it is sawab jariyah for us. And even we die, our children will benefit, next generation will benefit. And let me tell you, brothers in Islam, UK is going to come number 1 in the world in the next 10 years. You want it or not, it's there. Islamic finance. You want it or not, it's there. UK will be number 1. There are $4 trillion floating around in the world. And nobody can beat Britain on finance. For the last 300 years, big history, you would see. London has always been the center of finance. So what is our role in the whole thing here? If we got a son, make niyat. Allah, I want my son to become Hafiz al-Quran, alim and expert also in a specific field. And I will go to the extent of saying also, if you got a daughter also, because who will guide our sisters? I'm not telling you to send your daughter to work in banks. I'm not saying that. I'm saying educate them. So that they can educate the woman as well. I got so many phone calls from women who want to know. Typical example, credit card. Who can live without a credit card today's time? Our women we got silver, they got gold, platinum credit card, isn't it? Who will deal with that? Who will explain them this masla? How many women do you think is listening to my bayan today? You count on your fingers. And these are not things that you're going to explain in a bayan. These are technical issues. There are big, deep, pretty implication there. You got to have like a seminar and explain to them the harm of all those things. So this is the way forward. Okay, any other question before I finish? You stop your man. Okay. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi subhanakallah wa shallallahu la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. يا أول الأولين ويا آخر الآخرين ويا ذا القوة المتين ويا أرحم الراحمين يا بديع السماوات والأرض يا حي يا قيوم يا ذا الجلال والإكرام اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد يا عدد كل معلوم لك اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك اللهم اكفنا بحلالك وعن حرامك وأعننا بإفرادك عمن سواك اللهم بارك لنا في الماضي وفيما بعد الماضي اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من سوء الأمور ربنا زدنا علما نافعا ورزقا واسعا وحلالا وطيبا وعملا صالحا وتقبلا وشفاء من كل داء وقلبا منورا ولسانا ذاكرا وإيمانا كاملا ويقينا صادقا وخلقا حميدا اللهم بارك لنا في الموت وفيما بعد الموت اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من الهم والحزن ونعوذ بك من العجز والكسل ونعوذ بك من الجبن والبخل ونعوذ بك من غلبة الدين وقهر الرجال اللهم إنا نسألك الجنة بغير حساب سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين